Hey, we're live for the Upstate Pulse. These guys knew what time it would start. We're actually going like a minute later, and they're just sitting up here. I don't know what they're doing.
I'm in the shot.
Yeah, you are in the shot. Chris is in the perfect spot. Just a little off the top. The show starts 7 to 9 p.m. in roughly 13 minutes or so. Look how bright that is right there on Zach's forehead.
That's why I didn't want to sit it.
That's just awesome. It's like God shining down on him right there.
Very, very bright.
On today's show, we've got a ton of stuff to talk about. Listen, we're going to start out talking about flat Earth. That's what we're going to talk about. You're right. That sun is bothering me too. Let me take care of that. That's better. Here's the thing, since we're nerdy and we're crazy and we know most people are getting ready to watch other stuff, and it is October, tomorrow's October, and so why
Today's
not
my
get
son's
into
birthday.
Happy birthday, Christopher Robin.
Happy birthday, Christopher Robin.
So might as well get into the...
Usually Chris doesn't share personal stuff like that.
He doesn't. So, because this is, I've been with Chris...
It's a special day.
For like an hour and a half now.
I know, and you usually don't share those
He just
with
now
us.
told me.
You spring stuff on me on the show all the time.
I do, you're right. I'm not sure I can read this with these things on. By the way, my son Cameron, show contributor, got these at South Carolina Comic Con steampunk thing, and I always wanted to try them on. So, since it's almost Halloween in a month, I thought I'd give it a shot. And
Can you see anything out of those?
Yeah, and I feel like Deadshot.
How many fingers am I holding?
Got two. I did have to turn a little bit because this eye right here's got a target on it.
It's covered up.
It's not nearly as bad as you think, but it's
Okay.
it's actually like sunglasses a little bit, which we need because of the sun going down in the newsroom. Anyway, he got these at South Carolina Comic Con, which you should go next year. A ton of people did. It was awesome. They had steampunk Doctor Who, and it was a steampunk TARDIS and a steampunk Daleks, and then they had all this stuff. And I'm gonna get me some this year. I didn't get him because he got them. I didn't want to get him confused. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about flat Earth because, believe it or not, some people believe the Earth is flat. I don't get it. Maybe someone in this room believes the Earth is flat.
Seriously.
Okay, Zach's not saying anything. He might be a flat Earther. We don't know. You'll have to tune in at 7 o'clock to find out because that's the first thing we're talking about. We also have a ton of comic book stuff, but we're leaning heavily on video games today. Got a lot of video game stuff, including a birthday of a
Now,
game.
why wouldn't you?
A birthday of a game that will make you feel old if you're a gamer. And also, I have the story out of Canada. We try not to put Canadians' stories actually on the air.
What's it about?
Yeah. I'm getting ready to tell you what it's about.
I met a Canadian one time and asked her to say about, and she said a boot before she even realized what she was doing.
Did she really?
They actually do talk like that.
All right, I'm going to attempt to read this I can't read this. Here, you read this.
Where am I just starting from the beginning?
Yeah, just tell the story.
Durham Regional Police. Let's see. Durham Regional Police are investigating two separate thefts of rare comic books valued at more than $300,000.
$100,000.
Police say the owner of a comic book business had both his home and workplace broken into at separate times this month. The first break-in took place on September 18th when police say roughly $54,000 worth of comics went missing from the owner's home in Newcastle. Just under a week later, the police alleged two suspects broke into his warehouse in Pickering and stole a box of comics valued at $250,000. The two male thieves covered their faces with masks and scarves and wore gloves during the break-ins, police say. Anyone with information is asked to call Durham Police at 1-888-579-1520, extension 1925, or Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, so they actually...
So if you know...
Yeah.
Just in case you
Call
know. Yes, just in case you know anything about a Canadian robbery.
You know what I've learned? Crime Stoppers actually is in Canada. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? So someone stole $300,000 worth of comic books.
That's impressive.
What do you do with that? We don't know how many comics that actually
eBay.
is.
I would see. That's what I was thinking.
It depends on the value of the books.
Yeah, I doubt that's like 3 issues worth $100,000 each. It's probably. Gosh, I don't know. We know somebody that we could ask.
We do. And speaking of which, Rob Young, owner of Borderlands Comics, wonderful place, he's going to be on in 2 weeks, and we'll ask him that question. He won't be on next week because he's going to New York Comic Con. And so, New York Comic Con, Upstate Pulse, I'm sure it was a hard choice, but he's going to New York. And that's good.
Anyway, I was just thinking, I was like, how many pounds of comics is that? Because That's got to be dozens of issues.
They may have took like 50. I mean, 50 comics could be worth that much, depending on what issue they are and all that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
I mean, were they graded like old valuable comics?
I mean, let's assume that every single one of them was very, very expensive, very, very rare, and cost $1,000 each on average. That's still 300 books they had to carry out.
And here's the thing: they broke into his house and his warehouse. That to me says inside job.
I wondered if they hadn't gotten some sort of information from, having broken into one place and then breaking into another. I don't know. Maybe it is an inside job. Maybe they knew the guy before it happened, as those things usually go.
Comic book stores aren't very big, so it wouldn't be that hard to go through your employees or ex-employees and try to, figure out if maybe someone knows something.
It happened in Canada, so I'm predicting they'll come forward and apologize, because Canadians apologize
That's
about
what
everything.
they do.
So.
I'm sorry, Booty. And,
The Upstate Pulse.
You know what it is? The Canadian Mounties. What's the exact name? Royal Mounted Police.
Yes, I believe.
Are on the trail. It's like Scotland Yard, except it's not. They're on the trail. Wouldn't you be scared in Canada of the Royal Mounted Police?
I would.
Do you think the Royal Mounted Police are actually still mounted?
Some of them are, I believe.
I think they have riding motorcycles. Do they have motorcycles in Canada?
But they are absolutely the law in Canada, so you don't want to mess with them any more than you want to mess with sled around here.
What are they saying?
Dudley Do-Right's coming for him.
Is it anything worth
Those
saying?
glasses, Lonzo.
That's from your wife.
Dude, I mean, come on.
You call your wife dude?
As she and I had this discussion, there was a time when dude was a male term. I think dude now is just like...
I completely agree with that. Dude is a unisex term. It could be applied to both males and females. But I'm just curious about you personally calling your wife dude.
That's so cool. It really is. I'm chopping your head. I'm chopping your head. And yes, we are adults, and I don't
Is anybody
care.
else reminded of New Kids?
On the block?
No, I'm sorry, New Kids on the Block.
Hanging tough.
Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall.
Canadian comedy show?
Yes, Canadian comedy.
I didn't watch it. It was Canadian.
Yeah, it was Canadian. Who watches
Crashing
that
It.
stuff? Yeah, I do
No?
remember that. I
Okay.
do remember that. Crushing.
Lisa says she's not a dude.
Okay, she's not. You're right. I'm very upset. I am holding a sword, and nobody else is holding their weapons. No one's corrected anybody. So we cannot use the weapons of correction unless someone corrects somebody. And, it's no fun when you have weapons of correction and you can't use them.
Well, at least that means we're all accurate so far, and we're...
Good point.
Speaking
Good point.
truth.
But I consider that a correction.
You knew he would.
That's my bad.
It was
That's
an
my
easy
bad.
setup. All right. Speaking of setup, we got to get ready to do the show, which is 5 minutes from now. Make sure that you tune in, 106.3 WRD. Obviously, you know that if you're on this Facebook, whatever it is. So you know what the station is. And tune in. We'll have fun for 2 hours. It is a politic-free zone. We're just here to have fun on a Saturday night. So tune in. And
Join us.
Zach, hit that stop button. It's down at the bottom.